I think you'll get a notice that's going to tell you.
We just did.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start recording. We have our content journey chats. We're live on YouTube for the first time. I'm so excited, y'all. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
We have the link open so that if we have anyone else who is registered, we do have a few people who are there, they can join us. So we may have other people popping in. We may not. It may just be us chatting today. Either way, we're going to have a fantastic chat. I'm really excited about today's topic. It's something that I find is really important to marketing in general, but also we center a lot of our content journey services around this topic. So I think we'll all going to have something to say about why it's important and why we use it. And so let's get to chatting.
Yeah.
There's my tagline. Let's get to chatting.
We're going to work on that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. We'll just put a pin in that one. So today we're going to talk about nurturing audience using email, SMS, which is, I don't know, somewhat newer to us as a service offering, like probably within the last year. And then lead magnets, which we've always done and probably just been more consistent about doing better at. Now that we have Sarah too, really upped our design aesthetic as well. And yeah, who would like to start with how nurturing audience through
kind of like frame how you get to like a space where you're wanting to nurture an audience? How do you even have an audience to nurture, and why it's important? Does anyone want to tackle that piece?
How do you have an audience?
You, Emily, you.
Awesome. So obviously at Content Journey, like our main focus is driving people to come to your website. And then once people get to your website, we want to give them a lot of ways that they can engage with your content and with your business to keep them on your site and really keep them on your site so that they're engaging you, and that you might be able to get their contact information so that you can continue to engage them over a period of time before they're ready to convert to be a customer of yours. And so we not only create the content, the SEO content that's going to get them to your site, but we also help support businesses by creating content to foster that nurturing relationship once you've established connection with a customer. So you could establish a connection by them visiting your site. You could establish a connection by them coming into your business and being a customer, or through a referral, or through them signing up to follow you on social media. Like there are lots of ways that you can obtain customer information. And once you have that information, it's about like, how can you now get to know that customer, get to know what they're interested in, and then be the one that's like there to go, hey, I have the answer for that, in a way that customers respond to.
Yeah, I think that's true, right? We talked with how many people we talked to that are like, I bought this list and now I'd like to email the 10,000 people on this list that I just bought. Right. So there's also that way of I wouldn't say it's relationship building, but maybe communicating with people.
And that's like an element of some of the stuff that we do is with our clients, is talk to them about like, do you actually have authority to be able to, or permission to be able to email these people or text message these people? Or is that something like we need to get from the start? Because if you have people's contact information, but you don't really have the authority or permission to contact them, then we have to ask for that permission from the get-go.
Right. I've always thought of it as it's an exchange. Like you're going to give me your information and I'm going to give you something of value. And my value has to be above and beyond the value of your email address or the value of your phone number for that text message. And I also need to treat it with respect. And so especially when we're doing it on behalf of our clients, like it has to be treated with respect and done properly so that that value is never like I don't know, it has to stay equitable, or at least our side of it has to be like way above and higher, so that the person on the receiving end doesn't feel like, oh gosh, another text message from that place or another email from that place. Instead, it's like, oh, I can't wait. That's always good content.
Right.
I was just thinking about what is it in my life that makes me be willing to exchange, right? And I think the bar for me is a lot lower for my email address than it is for my phone number. Do y'all get some text message marketing that you like really love and can't wait for? Like, what's an example of something that you are so glad you signed up for?
I haven't really experienced that. I think that's tough for companies to really figure out how to do that, especially in just a few characters. Like how do you come across with that valuable information via text? And I think that is pretty tough.
I think for me, like the text that I really appreciate would be like reminders about things that I care about, right? Like I want to be involved in something that I need like a reminder to say, like, honestly, like go vote or sign this petition or whatever it might be. And then the other would be kind of the polar opposite of that, maybe. I don't know. And it's like, hey, this sale is about to end. Go buy your clothes today.
Those are mine too, as well, Emily. I was really thinking about what annoys me versus what doesn't. And what I really like is information about my kid's school, right? My daughter's away at college. And I think because I'm her emergency contact, I'm on their like emergency alert or whatever system. So if she's having a snow day, for example, because she's in another state, I get a message. So I like those. And then if there's a sale for a business that I really like I've got my eye on these, have you seen the Oprah sheets, like the sheets that Oprah is telling everyone to buy? It's on her top list. And they're, of course, Oprah finds them very reasonably priced, I'm sure, but Kenna does not.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
fair.
I signed up, and got a text that's like $50 off just for giving them my phone number. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'll do that. But will I enjoy hearing from them after the purchase?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I also like service reminders. That would be another thing, because I do not think about, hey, I need to get my oil changed, or I rarely think about, hey, I need to go get a haircut, because I literally go like twice a year, maybe. And so I think like reminders about those things can be really helpful for me, because I just
I love
vet.
that.
Time
Yeah,
to bring it on to the
vet.
vet.
Oh,
That's
those are
an
good
excellent
ones.
reminder.
Yeah.
That can be
So
super helpful.
things that help us to live our lives more effectively or productively.
I can't believe I'm saying this though. The text messages that I've enjoyed more, and because we're offering it as a service, I opt into a lot of SMS things just to see what people are doing. There's a company called Bandolier, the like bandolier thing I wear. That's like my phone case, purse, all in one thing. And so I signed up for their marketing messages, and they send Giphies in theirs. And so it's like their new products, and it's showing like, multiple images of somebody wearing whatever products. And I like that because, and this is the part I can't believe I'm saying, because I don't have to go to the website to look at the products. I can be like, oh, those are the 4 new things. What do I think? And like, I'm like, okay, not interested. And then I can go about my day. Or if I want, I can click through and go to the website and go look at the options. And me, I'm always like send people the thing and have them go to the website. But as a consumer, I've really enjoyed their multimedia approach. And then the thing I've been super annoyed with, this happened to me twice in the last week, is in order to get the discount for something, because I'm going on a trip. So I've done just a little bit of shopping in the last couple of weeks, but I'm obviously also really cheap. So I'm not going to buy the new shoes full price. I was like, who would do that? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for your email list and get 15% off for sure. But they now are requiring you to do your email and your phone number in order to get the 10% off. And I'm like, both? like you want both of my things. And so that's been a little bit of like a shift. And I get it from their perspective. They want to do the things, but I'm like, maybe like a second purchase, like have another opt-in or something like that for like a 5% off potentially to get this other thing, or let them choose which one's more valuable potentially. But I don't like the double information at all as a consumer. Maybe as a marketer, I'm like, great job.
Give me the choice. I agree. Give me the choice and I can decide.
Yeah.
Getting
Like,
text frequently too is I won't say the brand because it's an individual owned company and I really love her work and I really feel very connected to her because I connected with her on Instagram and feel like part of her story, but I don't need a text from you every day, or even once a week.
Every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's so frequent. And it feels excessive, abusive of my
She says,
content.
we're best friends. I'm going to text you every day because we're best friends.
Yeah. What did Podium tell us, Emily?
So
So we're partners with Podium. And so we got to go through like specialized training with them. And what was that percentage that they said?
I don't know the percentage, but I want to say that they definitely won't allow you to schedule every day without clicking a box that like where you're acknowledging, hey, I just messaged someone within the last 48 hours and I want to send them another message. But I want to say it's like they recommend sending like every 5 to 10 days, but really like closer to 10 would probably be their best practice.
It was like, a couple of times a month was sort of what I remembered, like maybe 2 or 3 times a month, maybe. But they had a whole lot of filters like built into the system where it's like, if all of these reasons someone heard from me, then like do not send them this message that I'm getting ready to send out. Right. If they made a purchase, if they came into the store, if they like do not send this message to them, because it was like
it's really smart too, because it's like awkward for the consumer if like they just purchased something or they just had a chat with you via text message with your customer service team and then they've gotten like an automated message. So it goes from like feeling extremely personal, like I just encountered this business, to, oh, they just put me in an automated system. Like that feels like a downgrade. And so that's one of the reasons that they recommend that like you don't just spam people constantly.
So also from an advertising perspective, like Lindsay said, a lot of us know ways to cheat the system a little bit, like abandon your cart for a while and they'll send you a discount, right? I mean, but from an advertising perspective, if you are only sending me promotions and you're doing that once a week, even, I'm never going to buy anything at regular price.
Yeah.
I know the sale is coming. It's like when you shop at the Gap or the Loft, you're getting a coupon in like 5 minutes. So just wait.
Right.
For sure.
Well, and that's like, so we're talking about this. We don't usually probably think of a coupon as a lead magnet, but that's exactly what it is. So like for e-commerce shops, or like, I guess our Gap isn't really e-commerce, but it is too, right? Like in our digital world. But for brick and mortar or e-commerce or whatever, coupons are lead magnets, discounts are lead magnets. And, but so are eBooks and, infographics, where do we stand on that? But how do you all see lead magnets playing into all of these nurture campaigns within email and text messaging?
I feel like they can have a lot greater value, right? Like I know Emily and I have both downloaded and shared with each other that we've downloaded like workbook type things about productivity or planning or whatever. So I feel like the consumer feels more value when they're getting something that is helpful to them. And it doesn't have to be huge. I mean, some of the workbooks we've looked at, worksheets, I guess we should call them, are like a few pages, but they really help you to process.
Right.
Totally worth your email.
I mean, and we're people that love a checklist. So even, I don't know, Lindsay, if you've downloaded a good packing checklist for your trip, but even things like that can confusing. Like I know companies that offer those, and I love stuff like that whenever I'm preparing for something, because it's one less thing that I have to think about. And so in a way, like, it's saved me a lot of time. So if something helps me like understand a process more easily or skip some steps that I would normally have to do, then yeah, it's absolutely worth my email address. And then a lot of times, like, I'll love the things that like continue coming from wherever I've given my email address. If I like the first thing that I've gotten from them, I tend to really enjoy the other materials that they're sending me as well.
Yeah, totally fair.
Absolutely.
I
Lindsay, you have that menu thing that you do. The menu,
which menu thing?
the menu planning thing where you just, it tells you what ingredients to buy, right? And plans your
Yes. So I
menu.
have like the emails thing. Yeah, that's not really a lead magnet though. I mean, that's a
Description.
I mean, yeah, it's like a subscription thing.
Yeah.
But I probably found it from some kind of, social media lead type thing originally. But yeah, it's fantastic. I get everybody addicted to that. It's so great for busy people. But what I found from a lead magnet to nurture thing on what both of you were saying, like enjoying the content that they send, that they follow up. Some of the really big companies, they remake you like download other stuff and like re-opt in again. So like I think it's like Marketo or Adobe, like sorry y'all, I guess I'm calling you out. But like they have fantastic content. Like I have so many of like their workbooks and checklists and just it's fantastic. Like I almost use them as reference materials. But they send an email out because I've opted in at some point and I'm like, oh yes, I want that guide. And I click the link and they're like, send us your email. And I'm like, you literally emailed this to me. Why, like, why are you asking for my email again? And then I'm like, even if it's for tracking purposes, like, don't you have that too? Like, why do you need me to? But of course I want it because like they got me to go this far. So like, there I am again, like entering my email address again, so that I can get this extra thing. But it's like, it feels so unsophisticated. And so then every single time I'm like, okay, I really want this information from you, but like, can't you get it together? Like, you know what I mean? Like and I'm like, you are an enterprise company. Why are you asking for my email when you emailed me this thing?
It's funny. I definitely have done that with those same companies before. So
You know what comes to mind for me is the company Day Designer. They have these amazing templates that I really love. So I signed up to get the templates. Now I get some of their posts, which are all about, time management and planning, which I love. I don't use a paper calendar. So I don't buy Day Designer products. But around the first of the year, when people were going, okay, what planner are you buying this year? I recommended them over and over, even though I don't use a paper planner. So even for someone who's not your customer necessarily, these can be really effective.
absolutely. So what tips would we give to someone that's like, okay, I haven't even begun to nurture an audience and I need a lead magnet, or how do I get started with email? How do I get started with text messaging? What's the path? What's the journey?
I think
I know what I would say. Go ahead, Sarah.
would be to like make sure your database is set up correctly and use a good CRM, because if you don't have that, it's essential. Like you have to. So just making sure that's organized properly. It's endless what you can do with a good CRM too. All the tags you can put on there, you can group people together. You know who's already downloaded it,
Right.
like a trigger or whatever, you know who to contact for other things. So I think the database is like the primary objective at first.
So true. It's really fascinating how many clients, like, we begin doing work on their website and their blog, and then we learn that they have all of this contact information that isn't stored in a system. And it's like, oh, you've been operating for 20 years and you have gobs of email addresses and you've never sent an email to them.
Gobs, that's the official measurement. Gobs.
Oh, well, we should find a solution for that. We need a database.
I think Emily and I have been in more than one meeting in the last month where someone has told us they've had more than 5,000 emails that they've never talked to those people. And we've both been like, okay, we can work with this. We can work
Yeah.
with this. Because it's just like, how much money is sitting there? Like, how much money is sitting there with an email list of 10,000 people or more? What was that one list? I mean, it was ridiculous of people they'd never communicated. Like, great lists of like former clients, former customers, like people who had already purchased from. Anyway, yeah.
But Sarah's so
yeah.
right. Like, you have to have some sort of system where you can store those and deploy mail. And yeah. That's really helpful.
And then I would say after you have your system is just like start really simple and think about the automation of it. Is just like one lead magnet and like a 6 email series of just like how is it automated, and just like set that up. Because if you have a sophisticated system, get your download, get your lead series together and just set up that automation and just let it run while you kind of get everything else in order. And if if anyone doesn't know what that means, right? Someone opts in, they download, and a couple of days they get their first email, and then however much time after that they get their second one, and it's building that relationship automatically. But every single person that downloads that first lead magnet's getting the exact same communication, and that only requires you writing those emails or paying someone to write those emails one time and setting it up one time. And so that's an easy button, honestly. And in a lot of cases, those automations can stay, I don't know, stagnant for a long time. And you don't really need to change them.
And you can set up the same automations for like text messaging if that works better for your audience. And then I think maybe like the next thing, once you get your initial series automation, is to determine like your ongoing communication cadence. So at Content Journey, that looks like a weekly email. For most teams and businesses, that's probably far too frequent. And stepping to a weekly cadence is going to feel overwhelming and unmanageable. So you can outsource it to a company like Content Journey, or like you can set a cadence that's like really manageable for you, whether that's quarterly or monthly, that you're just like having regular touch points with the audience that you're building.
Yeah. I love it. Kenna, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that? You looked like you had something before I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I was just thinking about, so many companies don't have some list sitting around, right? And so one of the things that I was able to do early on with my personal site was just share really valuable information in the right places. So like I shared a blog post in a Facebook group of parents of college students, and my list grew by hundreds of subscribers overnight. Because it was just like, okay, so this is someone who is a college professor, so theoretically knows what she's talking about with our students, and she's encouraging us to do X, Y, Z. What else can she teach us? So I really didn't have to do much of anything, right, to grow it relatively quickly, just giving free, valuable information to get that list. Don't buy it. Don't buy a list.
Don't buy the list.
Earn the list. And it takes time to earn the list.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing I've learned,
earning it. You keep earning the ability and the permission to contact them in the future.
Absolutely. I think one thing that I've learned is just that email and SMS, like those communications, will continue to make your business money. Like they're not something to take for granted. Like they're important communications. And every, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, people will go, email is dead, content is dead, blog posts are dead, or whatever. And the truth is, like, they're not, and that they're never going to be. And so those tried and true types of things are always going to continue to be relevant for all business types for quite some time, no matter what sensationalized headlines we tend to see. And there's always some kind of information, some kind of lead magnet, some type of helpful content that you can provide to a potential audience that they're need, that they're wanting, that you can create for them. So, all right. Okay. So let's go out there and set those tables, people.
Close, but no, we're going to work on it.
We'll see you next week for live chatting with Content Journey.
Live chatting.
Signing
Live chatting. Gobs of live chatting.
Gobs of live chatting with the Content Journey team. I mean, we do have some people actually watching us on the live stream now. So thank you all.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you
embarrassing.
for joining us on our live chatting. And if you have any suggestions for how we should end these, we would love to hear them. And next time, join us. We're going to be here on Tuesdays, and we'll be watching the chat underneath. So if you have any questions, we'd be happy to start answering them while we're on here on the live YouTube channel. And it was so lovely seeing all of your faces. And hopefully we'll have people join us on screen one of these days and join the conversation.
We love that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a
Until
good day.
next time.
Still
original.
working.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.